So we continue with business ownership. Today we want to talk about how the private sector and the public sector contributes into the local community and to the nation as a whole. The private sector and the public sector makes the economy. So without the public sector businesses and the private sector businesses, we don't have goods and services in the economy. So how does the private sector, the public sector contributes towards economic growth in the country? Probably because of why. So let's check. Local and national contribution of each sector. So we have the private sector, we have the private sector and the public sector. So how does the private sector contribute to the local and the national community, and how does the public sector also contribute? So we're going to start with the public sector to the local community. Provision of essential services such as education and healthcare. The local community, like the Siraj is a local community. The public sector, the government sector, provides education and healthcare. That is how they contribute to the local community. That's why we have public schools around here or public health center around here. 2. Promote entrepreneurship through local enterprise office, LEOs. This is basically in Ireland, which support local startups. Government can also help local businesses, enterprises, entrepreneurs that are just coming up by giving them maybe grants or advice on how to set up their business. That was the second one. The third one, serves remote areas by ensuring access to services. Areas like Somali that there might not be probably private schools or international schools. Government will ensure that there are schools there, there's health center there. So things that are available here in the cities, they can also have it over there in the remote areas. Government will ensure that they provide services in that area. And the last one here, the regulation. Oversees businesses practices ensuring protection of the environment, employees, and the consumers. So the local government or the government sector or the public sector would also ensure that they provide regulations that will guide the practices of businesses. They want to ensure that customers are well taken care of, are not cheated, are not vulnerable. They want to ensure that employees get their pay as at when due, and they want to make sure that the environment is clear and clean for less pollution and whatever activity they do in the environment, it does not affect the society or the environment. So that's what the public sector will do with the local community. Now, the public sector with the I think I have more. Yes, with the national. The public sector with the nation, that means the country as a whole. What does the public sector do for the nation? Number one, increase tax revenue to fund public services. Government will come up with tax revenue. So there are government offices. What they do is they increase tax revenue. As soon as they increase tax revenue, businesses have to pay these taxes. And as soon as they pay these taxes, they become revenue for government, which government will use to build roads, schools, education is the same as school, health services, bridges, and the rest. So they increase taxes to fund public spending. 2. Policy implementation by facilitating government policies to boost productivity and job creation. They want to ensure that people comply with government laws that would help the country to grow in terms of producing goods and services. And the next one is economic stability. The government would also ensure that goods and services are produced, and they are produced continuously or consistently in an economy. And if goods are produced continuously and consistently in an economy, that will create more jobs and provide more services. Because when goods and services are produced, it means the demand for goods and services will also increase. And when people are able to buy these goods and services, businesses will be able to expand. And if they are able to expand, they will create jobs. And the last one is social equity. Government does not just take care of individuals. Government takes care of everybody equally. So government will ensure that all citizens have access to essential services regardless of their location. So whatever is in Tripoli will be in Salman, will be in Tahuna or wherever. In as much as it's in Libya, wherever you are, as a Libyan citizen, you have the same access. That is what the public sector will do. Do you get it or not? So we're talking about the public sector in terms of how it contributes to the local community and how it contributes to the nation as a whole. For the local community, they help entrepreneurs to start up, local entrepreneurs to start up their businesses. They try to create job opportunity for people. The services that cannot be rendered by the private sector, they ensure they render it even to remote areas like Tauna, Soman, and the rest. That is the local community. And they provide education, schools, and healthcare for the local community. When it comes to the public sector to the nation, they increase taxes to fund public spending. They implement policies that puts the economy in the right position. Economic stability, they ensure that jobs are created continuously, and they ensure social equity. And when we talk about social equity, it means whatever you have access to, I have access to it. Wherever you are, whatever your location is, the same access you have, the same access they have. That is the public sector, locally contribution and national contribution. Now we go to the private sector. For the private sector, it is controlled by individuals and the private businesses. How do they contribute to the local community? Creation of jobs. The private sector will create jobs. Like this is ISM. Those in CIHIA might be able to get a job in ISM because ISM is a private school and that is its contribution to the local community. Do you get it? 2. Fund city council through the payments of rates, which is commercial rates. They pay certain amount of money to the municipality, which the municipality will use for street lights or to protect the environment. So here I go. Fund city council through the payment of commercial rates to finance council activities such as street maintenance and lighting. So the street light you see in CIHIA is done by the CIHIA municipality. And how do they get the money? They get it through the private sector. The private sector will have to pay certain rates to the community, local community, which the community will use for street maintenance and street lights. The third one, boost other businesses. New businesses can boost existing ones such as restaurants and shops due to increased spend and demand. Because it's in the local environment, you have shops around, you have different restaurants. These restaurants are there to boost other businesses. So if probably you might need to buy some things in the supermarket, you'll be able to get it. But without these local shops, you might have to go to the city center before you can see things you have to buy. So that's how they boost the local environment. And the last one, enhances community life. They support schools, clubs, and not-for-profit making organizations through consumer social responsibility. Private businesses within the local community, they sponsor schools, maybe sports events. They give donations to non-profit organizations. Sometimes they do bazaar. This bazaar, why do they do bazaar? To give to disadvantaged people in the society. So, and they do it through the schools. So you donate certain amount of money to those that are disabled, to those that are homeless. This is what the private sector will do. Then that is the private sector to the local community. So what is the contribution of the private sector to the nation as a whole? Number one, reduce social welfare dependency. The private sector will create job opportunity. And when they create job opportunity, simply means people will be able to get jobs. And because people are able to get jobs, the reliance on government for social rescue or for unemployment benefits, will reduce. Because now we have jobs. We don't have to rely on government to give us certain amount of money because we don't have jobs. So the private sector will create jobs. And by creating jobs, it reduces social welfare dependency. People would not have to rely on government for unemployment benefits or other social welfare benefits. And that allows government of the country to be able to transfer or to divert those funds to infrastructure, to education, to healthcare, to water supply and the rest. So if government stops spending on welfare benefits, it allows government to start spending on strategic areas that are very important to the economy. The second one, government revenue. The private sector would make profit, and because they make profit, they pay corporation tax. Corporation tax. They employ workers. Because they employ workers, workers will receive income. Workers will pay income tax. So these kind of taxes are a source of revenue for government. So that's why it contributes to national revenue through tax payments. The private sector will pay corporation tax. Their employees will pay income tax, and that increase or boost government revenue. And that's how the private sector will contribute to the nation as a whole. The third one, they drive national exports. Whatever goods and services that are produced in a country, they are not only going to be consumed in that country, they will be part of those goods will be sent abroad. That is exportation. Exportation. And one of the reasons for exportation is that we have excess produced in this country. So if you have excess, it has to be exported to countries that need them. So if export is increasing, it improves the balance of payments. The balance of payment current accounts of the country. And if it improves the balance of payment current account of the country, it improves or increases the national wealth. The country will start becoming richer because it's selling to foreign customers. Do you get it? And the last one, enhances global competitiveness. With technological advancement and innovation, new products, services, and business strengthening Ireland's position globally. Not only in Ireland, with technology, with innovation, people will come up with business ideas, new products, new services will come up. Business will be able to grow or expand, and that allows them to remain competitive, and they'll be able to compete with the rest of the world. But without the private sector thinking about innovative ideas, coming up with advanced in technology, they will not be able to increase their output. And if they are not able to increase their output, they won't be able to compete with the rest of the world. For you to compete with the rest of the world, you need to do more of exportation. And for you to do more of exportation, you need technology. So with the private sector, they'll be able to invest in technology. And if they're able to invest in technology, output will increase. And if output is increasing, it boosts the country's economy against the rest of the world. So these are the contribution of the private sector to the national economy, the private sector to the local economy, the public sector to the national economy, the public sector to the local economy. Are they clear?
But for government revenue and national private, so the employees and the business owners have to pay tax to the government to own the private sector?
No, they pay taxes because it is mandatory for them to pay. It is legally binding on them to pay. Because if you don't pay taxes, where will government have money to finance public spending? So it is important for government or for the private sector, the private businesses, the employees to pay tax. Tax is a levy that is compulsory. Because you have to give back to the society. And the way to give back to the society legally is through taxation. Because government owns the country, and government you need to contribute to the growth of the economy. And how can you contribute to the growth of the economy? You can only contribute to the growth of the economy through paying your tax. So that's why taxes are inevitable. That's why a tax is a levy imposed on individuals and businesses because of their consumption or production. It is compulsory, you have to pay it. So when you pay, government does not spend the money lavishly. Government will use the money to build road, education, healthcare, and so on. Is it clear?